Hello and welcome to Neuroshambles, the podcast that aims to shine a light into some of the murkier corners of what it's like to parent neurodivergent kids. I'm Mark Allen, and every episode I'm going to be swapping stories with my guests about some of the frankly ludicrous nonsense we have to deal with on a daily basis. So, if you're anything like me and you're feeling frazzled, overwhelmed and pretty much an outcast from polite society, join me. Hello and welcome to episode 52 of Neuroshambles. Thanks for joining me once more for yet another bewildered rummage through the minutiae of our neurochaotic lifestyles. I've got another fun episode for you as I speak to a returning guest and we unpick a topic that I'm sure will be familiar to a lot of you. We've also got some of the old classics, Neurodiversity Champions, tiny epic wins and what the flip moments. So let's dispense of the faff and get stuck in.
Meet the guest.
So this week's guest is someone who is returning to Neuroshambles for a second time, having appeared back in season 2. As well as being a parent of a neurodivergent child, she is a prolific advocate. She's a trainer for the PDA Society, and she writes a wonderful blog called A Boy Less Ordinary, which you should definitely check out if you haven't already. I am delighted to be able to welcome back to the show. It's Rebecca Hussain. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hello. It's taken a while, hasn't it?
It has. Yeah, we all need to kind of take time off to scream into the abyss every now and again and stare at the void for a bit, you know. Yeah, but you know what? The main thing is we come back to this wonderful bubble you've created where
you can get it all off your chest.
Get it all off. And correct me if I'm wrong. This is a safe space for swearing, isn't it?
Oh, swearing is actually mandatory on this one.
Oh, thank God. I couldn't quite remember, but thank fuck. That's what I'd like to
absolutely.
Say. Yay.
All right, so for those neuroshamblers who haven't heard you before or can't remember about your setup from the previous episode we recorded, tell us about what's going on at your end, Rebecca, in terms of neurodivergencies at play in your household.
Oh, well, my dog is 100% autistic. That's all I can say. Diagnosis confirmed this year. Won't wear a coat, won't go out to wee or poo. And the same meal every single day, exactly the same time.
Oh, man.
So, you're asking about the human.
As well. I mean, it's good to get the full personnel there.
Son's 14, getting really into throes of puberty now.
Okay.
So just when you think you're kind of getting there, as in terms of like, do you know what I mean?
You've plateaued for a bit.
I've plateaued.
Yeah.
I train parents. I've trained professionals. People have asked me for advice, Mark, and I'm a bit like, do you know what? I think I can do that. I think I can give advice because I've been there. I've been on the ground. I've been screaming into a cupboard before. And then puberty comes along and throws a hand grenade into your face and things don't work like they're supposed to work. So it's been a ride, but we're probably in a bit of a plateau of puberty at the moment. I won't go into too much detail.
Yeah, okay. There's probably a separate episode.
God, please. But yeah, my son Jem, 14, he's doing all right. He's doing good. So we have the EATAS, so the education other than at school, which you've had Heidi on a few times, haven't you? Talking, and she does all that great work with EATAS. So yeah, heavy on the learning without knowing he's learning and the sort of
stealth learning.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of the stepping stone approach. So, you want to know about that? Well, you're going to have to do this bit of maths. But I make it sound like we're actually doing stuff. We don't do anything really that looks like learning. But we went to London this week, which was really good. And that was a little educational trip, which didn't look like one. But yeah, so we're ticking along.
Nice.
We're ticking along quite nicely. Yes.
And he's diagnosed autistic. Is there any other facets to his character?
Well, he doesn't have a PDA diagnosis. I gave up trying to get one.
But I think we all recognise it, right? You know it when you see it.
You know when you see it. Yeah, so, but he's PDA and, again, he's ADHD, but he's 14 and he's not going to go and sit quietly and answer questions about his attention span or anything like that.
Yeah.
So he's got all the colours of that.
Just not all the badges.
Just not all the badges. And do you know what? I mean, look, I'm not going to die on that hill.
No,
There's a lot of
absolutely.
hills.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Do
of
you
hills
need them? As long as you know,
No.
and you've got the information you need to be able to.
Exactly. And as long as you can get it all in the HCP, as long as you can, then if you get it all in the HCP, it can be completely ignored at some point in the future,
Yeah,
which is the most
absolutely.
important thing,
Yeah.
isn't it? So,
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for introducing us or reintroducing us to your setup. Let
okay.
us launch into this particular topic of the week, which is very pertinent to me at the moment.
What's the topic of the week?
So this week's topic of the week is something that Rebecca and I started talking about as part of the personal hygiene episode we recorded back in season 2. And that is the subject of hair care, which was meant to be just a tiny part of that episode, but we both ended up having so many horror stories around it. We realised quite soon it warranted an episode all by itself. So this is where we are now. Hair care in general, I think, seems to be a unique challenge that many of us face with our kids, whether that is washing it or brushing it or getting it cut. It tends to cause a disproportionate degree of dysregulation, I think, with our neurodivergent kids. So it's something that I really wanted to take a closer look at and try and work out what's going on and just reassure myself that I'm not the only one experiencing this. Now, I think I already have a fairly good idea of your answer to this question, Rebecca, but how amenable is Gem to general hair care?
oh, absolutely fucking not. It's a utter shit show, and it has been since the day he was born. So there you go. Episode done.
Did he exactly? Did he come out with like a big coif of hair?
He came out with lots and lots of hair, and then it fell out. And then once it grew back, that was it. I kind of blame. Because obviously I've been thinking a little bit about, because we're doing this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I've been sort of going back in my head and thinking about kind of why I think he's so anti. Don't touch my scalp. Don't touch my hair.
Yes.
And I wonder sometimes whether or not I might have made a little bit of a rod for my own back, because I was one of those annoying mums who thought my baby or my toddler's hair was pretty when it was long.
Right.
And he had delicate curls, and it was all just beautiful. And I do remember probably saying more than I should, oh, I don't want him to have it cut because it's so cute. And I don't want him to cut his curls out. I don't know whether or not.
Up until what age, though?
I don't know, 5 or 6
Okay,
or 7.
but you don't think he was
maybe.
stewing on that and storing it for later? Oh, shower.
No, but in all seriousness, I remember when it got to the stage where people were sort of like, oh, you know, he's going to go to school. And I remember thinking, okay, well, we'll try this haircut business. And it worked a couple of times. But then it didn't work. So like a lot of things with our kids, they work while they work.
And then they're hard no from now on.
Yeah. And
forevermore.
Actually, the other day I was talking to Jen about when he was younger and kind of when he was more compliant, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
And his words were, and I think it applies to her, was, oh yeah, when I didn't know I had free will.
Yeah, you nailed the dynamic there.
Yeah, back then.
So before we get on to the, frankly, nightmarish scenario of them having their hair cut, we try brushing their hair early on, I think. Just the process of simply brushing it.
Yes.
It's not easy. It is fraught with danger. Certainly with at least one of my lot. What about Jem? How does he respond to the brushing of hair?
You're triggering me.
You're twitching.
I'm twitching. You know, I remember the last time I was allowed to brush his hair.
Wow.
It was 2019 and my boss was getting married, and I bought him a little jacket, and he had a little bow tie, and his hair was poker straight and kind of in a bit of a bowl haircut that I'd done. Mm-hmm. That's another story. And I remember saying, Mummy, brush your hair. And I think he was about 8. Yes, okay. And I remember brushing his hair. And as he stood there, you know, with this halo of hair, looking amazing. And I actually took a mental picture of it because that was the last time. That was just.
Did you realise at that point?
I think something in me knew, because it had been getting a bit ropey.
Okay.
I was on very dodgy ground.
I mean, I'm impressed you got him in a jacket. That was the tipping point, right? The moment
Exactly.
it's like, yeah, this is too much. You might have got away with just the jacket or just the brushing of the hair, but not the jacket and the hair.
We didn't make it. We made it to the wedding. We made it through a church service, and then we fucked off home. So I
think that was the day you broke him. He was just like, yeah, I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. Compliance is not for me. Look where it leads me.
Exactly. But since then, I have never sat down with him in front of me and brushed his hair without him either running with his hair caught in it, so that he's then dragging me around the house, without him screaming or shouting or swearing. So I just don't really.
So, does he do his own hair?
Oh God, no,
right.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, I'm a ninja nighttime brusher.
Right. Okay.
So I brush his hair when he's asleep.
Again, by stealth.
Yeah. I've been doing that.
How do you achieve this?
Oh God! So I bought a head torch. I used to pick up my phone and hold with the torch on.
Yeah.
And I used to hold my phone in my mouth, but then I'd kind of dribble on my phone and like nearly.
Also,
crack the
if
screen.
someone rings you at that and he wakes up, you're fucked.
God, yeah, at midnight.
What are you doing, woman?
No, but yeah, I used to. I say used to because he's actually got short hair now, so I'm not having to do it not as much. But sort of the 2020s, kind of the early 2020s, I would wait until he'd fallen asleep, and I would pop my head torch on.
Yeah.
I would get a variety of combs and kind of whatever I thought I needed. So a tooth comb, maybe for kind of loosening. I'd have a brush.
You have a full outfit.
Oh God! And I'd lay them all out on the bed, and I'd even get scissors if I needed them. I've got hairdressing scissors and things kind of tucked away. And I would start, I'd head torch on, the Mission Impossible music soundtrack going on in the background. A bead of sweat is dripping.
Yeah, of course. This sounds terrifying.
Oh, it's horrible. And then I would just start on one side and then just kind of do what I could.
You'd sneak into his room. Did he ever wake up?
He never woke up. But,
Jesus, that is impressive.
But there was one night. So this went on for years. And obviously, and his
how often? How often did you do this? Just trying to build an image of.
It kind of depended. So he'd never had his hair cut after 2019.
Yeah.
Until, I don't know, 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So his hair got, down to his shoulders and longer. And, with activities like swimming and things, if you don't brush your hair, it begins to dreadlock.
Yeah.
And he's got extremely thick hair as well. Because my husband's Turkish Cypriot, so he's got extremely thick black hair. So I would judge it. I'd kind of look at him and I'd think, is tonight going to be a good night? And I'd kind of think, wow, okay, sleeping deeply. I can see we've got a bit of a clump. Because I'd grade the things into, that's just a knot, that's a clump.
Yeah.
That one's a dreadlock. And I would just kind of, probably every other night or every 2 nights.
Quite regularly then. You got into this routine of ninjaing
Got into the routine. And it's one of those moments where you sort of stop and you think, if anyone could see me now, who doesn't know what it's like having a PDA, they'd think I was an absolute
Yeah, totally. When people say, what were you up to last night? I was watching The Traitors. Oh, no, I was crawling into my child's room under the cover of darkness. I spent 2 hours on a knot before sneaking out again in case he woke up.
But I'd get really into it. So he'd be lying there asleep, and I'd think, turn over, just because I needed him to do the other side of his head. So I would do things like sort of flick him, poke him, and because he did pre-puberty, he slept like an absolute fucking log. I can't tell you. I mean, you could not wake the bugger up. So I would kind of try and poke him and turn over, and then he would turn over. But I kind of sit there with my phone and I researched sleep cycles. Okay.
Oh my God, you really got into it.
Yeah, because I wanted to know when would be the optimum time to actually comb the hair. Because there's no point doing it when he's just drifting off if he's going to wake up.
Yeah.
So I needed to know when he was in REM.
Have you genuinely? Have you ever thought of a career in this?
No.
The hair ninja.
I think
Like all the people up and down the country with PDA kids just call you up, and then they don't even know you've been. They just notice that the hair is looking glorious in the morning, and you just drop them an invoice on your way out.
I would have to come in from the ceiling like Tom Cruise, wouldn't I? I absolutely would, with a mask, you know.
I mean, the parents would let you in, but that's just not part of it. Where's the fun in that?
I nearly got found out was because it was a night when I had to actually cut some like really matted clumped bits out, because obviously this isn't a foolproof system, because you can't always kind of get to where you want to do. So, and by this point, his hair was probably mid back, so it's very long, very long. And I one night I was a couple of years ago, I was trimming clumps out and kind of I was doing all kinds of things, but I cut a clump out which was underneath, so you couldn't see it, because you also have to be very careful that you can't leave any trace.
Did he know? Just sorry to interrupt, right?
Yeah.
Did he know that you were doing this, or did he wake up and think the hair fairy had been like the tooth fairy?
Jem isn't really, or wasn't very body aware,
right?
So I mean, he's the kind of young person, I can say now, who if he was, I don't know, eating something and got ketchup on his face, he wouldn't be able to feel it.
Yeah, that's exactly like Otto. Yeah.
Yes, so he wasn't the sort of person that would run his fingers through his hair and think, something feels different. He wasn't really aware. But I did actually leave a clump of hair on his pillow that I'd cut out one night next to him. So as he woke up.
What, like a warning? Like a mafia thing? Take care of your hair or I will.
Okay. Yes, and he did say, "What's this?" And I was busted, because I said, because what I used to do is throw the clump, if I was cutting, or I'd throw them over the side of the bed because it was dark. And I would just hope that I would remember in the morning that I then had to pick them up. But I forgot and left this one on his pillows. Ugh, like a dead rat or something.
Yeah.
And I did have to confess that I had actually chopped a bit of his hair out. And a sensible way of discussing it would be to say, we lost trust. He lost trust with me that day. But he was just really, really pissed off with me. But we got over it. He got over it.
You kept going back in?
Oh, yeah. God,
but did he know that you kept going back in?
No, I never made that mistake again. I mean, that would not be, if I had a CV and this was on it, I would not sort of put a note of that.
I don't think people would be asking Jem for a reference on that.
No, they wouldn't be. No, but it's been pretty successwell. But like I said, we had
genuinely staggering. That is astonishing to hear.
But I don't think this is particularly relatable, really, is because actually saying that, I have on a certain Facebook group that isn't awful, that's extremely funny, a couple of other parents have mentioned the stealth nighttime brushing.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't think I'm the only one.
What is relatable is the insane shit that we have to do as parents of neurodivergent kids, just to try and keep some vague semblance of respectability. Not much, just a little bit.
It's only really when you then mention it to somebody that you think to yourself, oh God, that's not normal.
That's insane.
That's not normal, is it?
What I do is insane. I mean, with my lot, as with anything to do with them, there are various degrees of compliance and tolerance for the hair brushing. So Otto's hair at the moment is fairly long, and he's always scruffy. Like, always. It's just, he's got no interest in being neat and tidy. It's not even a consideration for him, like you were saying with Jem. It's, doesn't even think about it. So his hair is unkempt, but it matches his overall vibe. Do you know what I mean? It's not, It's not jarring. It's like, oh, there he is. So I'm not massively concerned with it. If I need to brush it, but I don't really. He's like, yeah, whatever. Do what you need to do. Fine.
Yeah.
With Jay, as I mentioned in the personal hygiene episode, he takes quite good care of his general grooming.
Wow.
He sees it as a responsibility of his, and he's not interested in us doing it. So I don't know what would happen if I tried to brush his hair, but he does it himself. And
how old is he now?
So he's 12. He's going to be 13 early this year.
You should take credit for that. You should take the credit for that.
I will, but it's got nothing to do with me. Nothing that I have said or done has influenced that decision in any way whatsoever. India. is a whole different story, because it is an ongoing battle with India, because she likes to have her hair long. If it was up to her, it would just be as long as it could possibly be. It would be matted and knotty and dreadlocked, you know. And I guess I think I have a bit of parental guilt about not wanting to send her to school like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like in the house, yeah, I'm fine. But when it goes outside, you do have, well, I certainly have that parental guilt of going, I'm going to be judged for this.
This is the thing. And actually, there were times when I thought to myself, if somebody really, I mean, obviously he's not gone to school since 2020. So we're kind of below the radar in a lot of ways. But there is, on a serious note, I did at one point when things were quite bad with his hair, think, what if somebody thinks it's like neglect, like serious neglect?
Yeah.
And also,
I've had
like
that
you say,
genuine concern as well. Yeah.
like you say with Jay as well. I mean, often he's wearing a really old T-shirt because it's lovely and it's soft, and it might have a stain on it. And then, there was the Crocs he wore for 3 years that were too small for him because he didn't want. And you get to a point where you sort of step back and you think, Christ on a bike, if somebody really wanted to.
Yeah, social services, if they took a glimpse, would be like, oh shit. Alarms would go off. A legion of people would come and start asking questions, which, as we know, does not go down well.
No, we don't want any of that, no.
Yeah, so I do genuinely still have that, like, I can't send India out of the house like that. Like, they've already taken a look at Otto. Doesn't matter, I could brush Otto's hair for a week and it would still look messy just because of his general vibe, right? So India, it gets knotty and matted and it just looks bad. So I feel like I need to do it, but she absolutely hates me brushing her hair.
Yeah.
And I think part of it, as I think you might have sort of touched on earlier, I think that she's got a very high level of sensory sensitivity, particularly around the scalp.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing for neurodivergence at all.
I think it really is. And I think possibly it's been funny to talk about it, but on a serious note, what Jem does say to me is, I can't stand anyone touching my scalp. I can't bear it.
Okay, that's interesting to know.
And even just touching it makes him feel extremely uncomfortable. So, I can understand if you're brushing and there's a knot and you pull a kid's hair out.
Yes, yeah.
And that could absolutely make them think that they don't want that to be done anymore. But there has always been, even to touch the scalp. He will never wear hats or anything like that because he can't bear things. So I'm sure with India as well. And like everything with PDA, it's not just the fact that they it's a demand that they don't want to do. It's usually a sort of, there's a cloud of different things going on there. There's sensory sensitivity, isn't there?
The loss of autonomy.
Yes, exactly. It's never really just one thing. And our kids do really suffer with intolerance of uncertainty as well, don't they? So if they don't know the outcome, they don't know what's going to, if you're brushing your hair, they don't know if it's going to hurt, they're on edge. Yeah. So I think, there's a lot to it.
And it is, you're right in saying that it might not even be a pain thing. Because the thing is with India, as I discussed in the refusal to seek medical attention episode, she will not really let on if she's hurt herself. But if I'm brushing her hair, the fucking drama of it all is like, like that's the only time she will acknowledge that there's any kind of pain. And I don't think I think it's not actual pain. I think it's that sensitivity or that resistance to having the scalp touch. So it becomes this massive deal. And obviously then when you start doing it, she fidgets and moves in unusual ways to try and get out of it, which makes me more clumsy. And she tells me that I brush it like a gorilla. It's like I'm doing my best.
But the thing as well is because we know that these situations, and whether it's brushing, washing, having your hair cut, we know that they're a big deal because it's not our first rodeo. So when we approach these situations,
they smell the fear. They smell the fear.
Exactly. They can smell it. And we're bringing all of that baggage, aren't we, to the situation. So absolutely, it's we can't be that sort of perfect robot parent. We can't. I mean, it'd be brilliant if we could, but they wouldn't like that anyway.
No, exactly. They just unplug us and get on with the life. So I find myself having to weigh it up with India of whether I fight a battle over, like a daily brush, or if I leave it until it becomes a war, and then it's like, it's knotty and matted and really painful, and then it becomes a much bigger deal. It's a trade-off, isn't it?
This is the thing. That if we went swimming today and I said, if we wash your hair today, it's not going to get matted. It's not going to get clumpy. It's not going to be difficult. I'll do it tomorrow. I know we won't do it tomorrow. This is when you desperately want to help because these things are so hard for them.
Yeah.
What's really awkward as well is when people try to give you advice.
Oh, always.
Someone once said to me, of course, yeah. What did they say? If they don't like it getting wet, why don't you just use dry shampoo? Brilliant. I'll get a can of something that's loud and makes a loud noise, makes a terrible smell that he can't tolerate.
Yeah.
Powder comes everywhere. I'll get him to sit still, put his head over. I'll spray it on the... No. I mean, I may as well just set his hair on fire.
Yeah, it's
going to have the same outcome.
It's a nice idea, but you do not know what you're dealing with here.
No, or just cut her hair short, Mark.
I've had that.
Cut her hair short,
and I would be well up for that, like wicked. Yeah, I'm all for India having her hair short because you wouldn't have the issues. But she is very adamant that she doesn't want to do that, and I think that's primarily because she would have to get a haircut, and that's a whole separate shit show which we'll go into later. Yeah. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if when she gets older she'd just have dreadlocks. And, that's fine.
It would be her choice.
As the parent, it's not ideal, but it's also not the end of the world, is it? I think you just got to strap in and accept that at some point. Okay.
This is the thing. It's 1 foot in what we know as parents of autistic kids and PDAs. It really isn't the end of the world. There's that whole mantra of, is it really worth it?
Yeah, pick your battles.
But on the other hand, there's but just do it because what will people think? And it's so simple, it's so easy, and you want them to fit in with society and not look like little scruffy reprobates going around, and you don't want them to be judged.
But they already behave like little reprobates going around, so at least there's consistency of the theme. I was going to ask if you got any advice on hairbrushing and what works for you, but you've already given us very vivid detail about sneaking into his bedroom at night. So that's worked for you. Have you found anything else that does the job?
I was sent by my mother-in-law. She thought she'd found a miracle hairbrush on Amazon. Mm-hmm. So the package arrived addressed to me and I opened it and I thought, fuck's sake, hairbrush. You're only sending this to me because you think he looks like a mess and you're sick of it. And
it's a very demand avoidant way of suggesting it.
God, why don't you try this? And right now, I mean, at this stage, I'm 14 years in. If someone says, why don't you try this? Straight away, they're going to get the finger from me. I'm not listening.
Yeah.
Anyway, opened the hairbrush. Jem, who loves a package, bloody loves a package, especially if it's not addressed to him. What's that? I said, it's a hairbrush. Nene sent it. That's what we call his grandma. Nene sent it. Oh, wow. Gets hold of the hairbrush, puts it to his head. And I thought,
what the hell?
What the hell is going on? So I thought I would test this theory. So I said, excuse me, it's mine.
Nice.
And he said, no, it's mine. And he brushed his hair with it.
Oh, that is absolute textbook PDA parenting, Rebecca.
Not twice. No, Mark, I was so fucked off. Because I've been trying to get him to brush his hair for God knows how many years. My sodding mother-in-law sends a cheap Amazon hairbrush in the post. Little fucker picks it up, starts doing his hair with it. I was livid. I was absolutely livid. Anyway, she's messaging me, I wonder if you got my hairbrush.
Oh, God.
Yes. How was it? Such a body's daughter's autistic and she really likes it. Well, in that case, it's going to be great for all autistic kids, isn't it?
But she was right. Oh, that's so annoying.
Well, of course, she was. She was right. She was. And I'll give her that. She was right for a week.
Okay.
And then the novelty wore off.
Yeah, that's the thing about PDA, right?
Exactly. Works now, works for a while, isn't necessarily going to work ever again. But I must admit, I've never been so irritated with somebody sending me something Isn't that churlish? I think that's the word,
It is,
isn't it?
yeah.
It's really churlish of me, and I'm not proud of my behaviour.
But it is one of those things that, yeah, when someone suggests
is one of
something, it's
those
like, fuck you, what do you know? Oh, it works. Okay, fine. I'll pipe down.
But it is part of my nighttime brushing toolkit.
Okay,
So
well, that's good. That's really good.
I've sort of swallowed my pride.
I mean, if you send me a link to that said brush, I might include it
I
in the show
will.
notes.
I'm sure it's like China's finest.
We had something similar, I think, with India, and we got a specific type of brush that is supposed to be gentle on the hair, and that seemed to do the job. I think that made a bit of a difference, definitely. I got one that smelt of coconut as well, which she liked the smell of it, so that that bought me a few brushes, but not really, she still kind of hates it. Yes. My best trick with India is to do it in the bath. So when she's in the bath, I brush her hair when she's underwater.
Yes. Oh, underwater. That's excellent.
That makes because you don't have that friction, and she's already a bit more relaxed because she loves being in the water, and it's just been freshly washed. So that's the best thing that I've done. And again, I make a bit of a game out of it and make it a bit ridiculous, and I hold the back of her head so she's all relaxed, and I'm like, just relax, madam, and then I pretend that I'm brushing a lion or whatever it is at the time, and that seems to do the job. But if she's deciding that she doesn't want me to do that for that particular day, because I have to give the option, do you want me to do your hair? No, I'll do it. Then she very, very typically doesn't do it, or doesn't do it well enough, and then we have the whole shit show of trying to brush it when it's dry and knotty again.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I'd love to sit here and say I've got tried and tested ideas, but actually I don't, because if something works for 5 minutes, it might never work again.
That's the thing.
I think the biggest thing I could say, and again, easy for me to say because I don't have a child that I have to parade around school and all that kind of stuff, but they get there in the end. I mean, we've got short hair now, like whichever of your sons you were talking about, it doesn't get really brushed very often, but it's short, it's kind of manageable, It's just that whole thing of the more pressure and stress that we put on ourselves, they can smell it coming out of our pores and they will run a mile. So it's like everything, I suppose, with PDA. You can't pretend not to care. You genuinely have to come to a place where you try and stop
you
caring
truly
about it.
Don't care.
It's kind of like the teeth, brushing teeth. It's like getting washed. It's like, I don't know, wearing clothes sometimes.
Yeah.
You've got to really change your own perception, haven't you? Because otherwise they know.
They can sense you want it, and it'll make them not do it even
Absolutely.
more. The other successful one I find with India is just doing it when the TV's on as well. Just sneaking in and doing it. That tends to have a big impact. She's distracted by something else, and that buys me a little bit more time. Like I can't, she won't allow me to handle her like a gorilla. She'll remind me if I'm heavy-handed, but broadly it buys me a little bit more tolerance, I think. Not acceptance, but a tiny bit more tolerance. When India's hair was really long, I did, think about tying it up or tying it back or pigtails, just something to get it out. And she was like, hard no on any of that. Like when
Jem, can't put anything in hair, bubbles,
Jay as well.
Anything.
I think maybe it's the tightness of it. I don't know what it was, but
it's going back to that scalp again, isn't it? That sort of anything to do with pulling the scalp, touching the scalp, brushing.
Yeah,
scalp's a no-go zone, man.
So that option wasn't on the cards. Hair clips wasn't on the cards.
Nope.
Hats were not on the cards.
Nope. So
yeah, we're screwed, aren't we?
Yeah, completely.
So the next thing I wanted to talk about in terms of hair care, and this one's the really triggering for me, is knit combs. Oh,
we have never had knits.
Oh my God.
I've never had knits. I think there's some sort of gene I've got.
That's amazing.
I've passed down to Jem that repels them. I cannot comment on what it's like to have knits. I can only imagine the hellscape.
Let me take you through it because it's a fucking nightmare. Now, I think part of the fact is that Jem's been out of school, so he's not jostling with knit adult children on a daily basis, because that's the thing. Children have no awareness of personal space.
They're disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. They're well grotty. And so all it takes is one or two of them to have knits, and all of a sudden it spreads like wildfire, and it's Jesus. So I dread it.
Have you seen the episode of Motherland?
No, I haven't.
It's absolutely brilliant, where they basically go on a witch hunt for patient zero.
Okay, yeah. Because I do get that, because sometimes what we get now, because we've got the WhatsApp group, sometimes you will get the message, the dreaded message, and my heart sinks when someone sends a message going, "Oh, little Molly has got nits." Oh, or I found some nits on Molly earlier, so you might want to get your kids checked as well. You know, they're not owning up to it. They're just saying, "Oh, just happened to find nits on my daughter." You know, and then it's usually sorry. And then what really gets me is the laughter emoji. If they do a laughter emoji, then it's like, this is not an emoji situation, love.
No.
This is not a laughing matter over here.
Burn Molly at the stake.
I think we need to take Molly out of the equation. I think we found what the problem is. It's not nits, it's fucking Molly.
Yeah.
Because obviously everyone else will get their kids and go, "Oh, sorry, we've got to do the nit comb, and we'll just,
mummy,
yeah,
never
I'll
mind.
sit completely still while you brush the nit comb through my hair, and I'll sing a song while we do it. You never know.
It's a bit smelly, mummy, isn't it? Oh dear.
Oh well." But at my end, it is like, lock all the doors.
Oh God.
It is, and again, Otto, pretty fine with it. He's not, again, he just sort of gets on with it. He's not too fussed. And again, Jay's not been too bad. It's an India thing. India is like, maybe it's the scalp sensitivity. But are you familiar with nit combs?
I have seen
So
them.
nit combs are like, they've got metal prongs and they're very tight together, and you've got to scrape them. So if she's not cool with me just doing a normal hairbrush, the idea of me scraping a metal nit comb through every strand, because it has to be every strand, you can't half-arse it, because if one of the fuckers remains, then there's a whole party going on.
Mark, I wouldn't do it. I'd lie and say they were done.
Just
I would
shave the head, send them in like
just
G.I.
say
Jane.
You've done it. Just say you've done it. It's not worth your life.
No, but then, so the other issue I have with India is that she has this real kind of fear of ants.
Oh no.
So, I mean, nits are kind of like worse ants. If you've got a fear of like small things crawling, right, in your hair, like, so it's not even that we could just kind of look the other way. If she feels it or knows that there's something off there.
Can you feel nits?
It depends how bad it is. I don't know. I don't think I've ever had them, to be honest. But I know, but our kids have, and it's emotional because you've got to get the shampoo, and as you say, the nit shampoo stinks. Like it smells really bad, and it's also really oily, so it kind of feels pretty grim on the scalp as well. And you have to keep checking. It's not even like there are no nits there. You've got to keep going. So it's an absolute nightmare. And then you wait another few weeks, and then someone hasn't done it at their end. Do you know what I mean? One or two parents just let it slide, and then it starts again. So I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
And my heart actually goes out to you, but I still feel like I've got off lightly without the nits. So
yeah, I can assure you definitely have.
Wow.
There's anyone who has had the absolute nightmare of nit combs.
God, I'm so sorry.
Wow. But it's fine. We need a little chart on the wall saying 20
how many days without
free. But then it's just one text message and it just ruins my week. Fucking Molly again, is it?
Well, at the end of the day, if Molly's still allowed to come into school with hair, just shave her, tar her and feather her.
In the playground, pin her down. Come on, guys, I'm sick of this shit.
What about a bell round her neck so that when she walks close, all the other
People
kids
just scatter. I love it.
Yeah.
That's the answer. So obviously the key to keeping their hair manageable is washing it as regularly as you can, as you dare. And we covered that in the previous episode of bathing, in the personal hygiene one. If you haven't already listened to that, there's all kinds of fun and games in that one. So I'll put a link in the show notes. But, obviously the process of getting them to wash their hair is a massive battle in itself, which never helps.
Nope.
And we've already talked about the trauma of trying to get them into the bath or the shower in the first place. But washing their hair in the bath is that sort of that next level of involvement,
That's the holy grail for me.
What of actually getting it done.
Oh yeah, in the bath, washing a body and washing the hair. Oh my God. It's a dream. It's the dream.
And you can't do that one in a ninja style when he's asleep.
No, exactly. I have thought about it, but no, I've never found a way to...
Drug him, chloroform him, drag him in the bath. Obviously, like an inflatable neck pillow so he doesn't drown, and then just have at it, Rebecca.
Oh my God. Don't give me ideas.
I just saw a moment in your eyes where you thought about whether that might be feasible. But yeah, so that's not on the cards for you then. Washing the hair in the bath. How do you navigate that then?
We manage it. It's pretty good now. I think we're down to about once a fortnight, Mark, of which I feel so smug.
Uh-huh.
Genuinely. And we've transitioned to the bath. Used to be only every time we went swimming.
Oh, you did also tell us about the paddling pool outside.
Yeah, we've done. Yeah, the paddling pool. How could I forget? I tell you why I've forgotten. Because I blocked it out of my mind because it's freezing and it's a nightmare and I detest it. But yeah, obviously you have to be as flexible as possible with your kids. Yeah. And if that works for you. So we've transitioned from the paddling pool.
Nice. We've
transitioned into the bath. We had a short stop with washing hair in the lounge. Would you like to hear how that went?
Would I? Yes, I would.
Because I have to say, it's fucking ridiculous and I don't see the point. But anyway, I have one of those, those IKEA, cheap and cheerful IKEA rocking chairs that kind of...
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah.
So he said, I shall sit on there and I shall hang my hair over the back of the chair. Now, this is when it was kind of almost waist length. Yeah. And I said, okay, right. I'm thinking to myself, he's agreed to have a hair wash. That
sounds a pretty good solution as well. So I don't want to look at you.
I know, exactly. I don't want to look at you. So I said, okay, fine. So he did that and I said, okay, just need to get water from bathroom into lounge. And I think any other parent at this point would have been like, absolutely, this is ridiculous. And I was thinking, could I maybe get the hose pipe on one of the shower taps, kind of. So in the end, I was just so grateful because I just could imagine ecosystems living in his hair at this point. Yeah. It was just terrifying to think of what was going on. So I got a big... put the chair on some towels to kind of pad the carpet and got a bowl kind of underneath his hair and just poured jugs of water onto his hair, which then went all over the carpet. I was padding around in a sopping wet carpet, pouring water onto his hair, shampooing it, and then having to rinse. I hadn't thought it through at all. I saw
you spotted your window and you fucking went for it.
And I went for it. Hell for leather. Didn't look back. And it was a shit show. The dog was, running from the room, dripping. There was water on the coffee table. The plants were getting it. It was just mad.
But he accepted it.
He accepted it. He said it was like a hair salon.
Okay.
I mean, it would literally be one of the worst hair salons you've been into in your life if it was. And so we had a wash and a rinse. And then he sort of sashayed off. And I was just left with, I needed to sort of pump water out of it. It was ridiculous. This chair was soaked. It was just madness. But I'm not sorry because this, it's what we do. And he then had clean hair.
Did he request it again?
He did, but I somehow managed to say no. Okay. I don't know how I did it, but we then sort of transitioned into the bath somehow.
Okay, nice manoeuvring.
Yeah, and bath, screens, snacks, drinks. I got some sort of little sort of cute lights that you put under the water.
Oh, no,
and all
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
He had a fucking scented candle at one point. It's like he's in a sort of sanctuary spa. Scented candle, fluffy towels.
Come on, it's once a year. Let him live a little.
now it's happening in the bath. So okay. I'm winning at life. My
totally.
work here is done.
Absolutely. With my lot, again, Jay does it on his own. No worries. He does a good job on that front. That's not a problem. Otto actually quite likes it because he likes being submerged in water. So he'll duck his head down and get it completely wet. Then I will completely cover it in shampoo. Then he looks at me with a massive smile on his face and then he dunks his head completely under and he will not come up for air until I've rinsed all of the shampoo off under the water and then tapped him on the bum twice to say that he can now get up and breathe. I don't know how it's evolved to that, but it is like, I am going to try and drown myself unless you opt me out of it.
An integral part of whenever we go swimming, whenever we're in water, whether it's swimming, whether it's the, thank you for reminding me, the paddling pool in the back garden, or if he's in the bath, he sounds very similar to Otto.
Yeah.
There's a sensory experience which he is getting from the feeling of really nearly being drowned, and he absolutely loves it. I mean, it's just another one of those things to add to the list of things that I really hope social services never find out.
Yeah.
Drown me, mummy, drown me. That he's shouted before. He wants to be held under the water, and he loves water being poured on him. That sort of splashing.
Oh, India the other day. This is a slight aside, right? I've got a rain shower in our bath. And I was like, do you want to have a shower? And she was like, yeah. So I put the shower on and she put the plug in and then lay down in the bath with the rain just falling on her face and the bath filled up from the shower. She was in there for ages and she absolutely loved it. It was like her best experience ever.
Wonderful.
I did, in the early days of this arrangement with Otto, forget how many times I had to tap him on the bum. And I tapped him 3 times and he refused to come up. And I was getting really panicked at this point. That's like,
not the right code. That needs
and he was he was very resistant to it. He was not letting me off the hook until I got the double tap, and then he's like, oh, thank God. So Otto, fine. Jay, fine. And India is okay with it to a degree. So firstly, she wants to do it herself, but if I let her do it herself, she never does it properly. So if she lets me do it, then we again have a bit of a game where I have to pretend that it's a head massage. Right. So turn around, madam, and then I get it all soaked, and then I start doing like a head massage, and she just, and it happens every time. This is the script where I do that, and she goes, that's the stuff. Which is adorable and hilarious. So I do that, and then she kind of dunks it. But if any shampoo gets in her eye, it is the end of the world. It is like, it's so much drama. And I wish I could really unpick what's going on here. But it's unusual for her to ever admit being in pain. But when it's to do with hair or hair care, that it becomes like a massive issue. And I don't know quite why that is. Maybe she's already like right near the edge, near boiling point by the whole scenario.
It's only what we're seeing, isn't it? I think that's the thing, and how much she might be masking or pushing down those feelings. But then
a bit
feel
of heavy-handed brushing or a bit of shampoo in the eye becomes the straw that breaks the camel's back. And then
does she let you use conditioner?
Take 2 bottles into the shower. I just wash
and go. Do you know, great minds, what? For a very long time, I used a wash and go as well.
Okay.
I really did, until I got cocky.
Why?
And I decided to start introducing 2 bottles.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, because I'm stupid. I have no idea.
No, cocky. I think it was just like, I've got this. I've passed level 1. Let's try the end of level boss.
Yes, exactly. It was a side quest I shouldn't have gone down, because I was informed that conditioner leaves your hair feeling all soft and smooth.
Right.
And apparently, that is horrible. Absolutely awful.
The feeling of softness and smoothness is horrible. Not the conditioner itself, just the fact that it feels clean.
This doesn't feel like my hair anymore, Mummy. You've made it all soft and smooth.
The disdain.
God almighty. So we must never, ever use conditioner again.
Okay, unless you use cooking oil straight afterwards.
Yeah, there you go, exactly. I might have to go back to wash and go. I'd forgotten about that, actually. Thank you.
Oh, it works. Yeah, it's great. So obviously we've talked about brushing hair, and we've talked about knit combs, and we've talked about hair washing. But I think, the biggest battle that I face, certainly, and I'm sure many parents of neurodivergent kids face, is the prospect of getting their hair cut. Because I think there are a lot of potential triggers there, and my kids generally are triggered in different ways by this. And obviously there's a reason that Jem hadn't had his hair cut in a long time, and it was down to his back. And that wasn't because of the lack of availability of Barbers.
Well, how do you know what it's like in Dorset?
I mean, I'm guessing. I'm just guessing. I'm throwing it out there.
No, you're right. It's actually, we do have barbers, quite a lot.
So what was the reason that Jem was so averse to having his hair cut, do you think?
I think, to be honest with you, that he probably had quite a horrible experience when he was very young, which I didn't sort of recognise as a horrible experience. He used to be left with his grandma sometimes, my mum, and she used to have a mobile hairdresser who used to come round. And I was informed once, I think when I got back from work, back in the day, I think he was about 18 months old at the time, and he'd had a rather bad reaction to hearing a hairdryer.
Okay,
and that was,
yeah.
So that was the first time I remember thinking, oh,
that's
okay,
unusual, yeah.
That's unusual, that's right. And it kind of went downhill from there, really. And I think partly, perhaps I could have tried to, and I hate this phrase, but I'm going to say it anyway, could I have helped him build some resilience to the hairdressers? Could I? Or did I do the opposite and think, no, we're not going to go near a hairdresser's because he screamed his head off the last time and I want a quiet life. And I opted for that one. And we really didn't go very often.
So when you did go, early on, how was that experience then?
It was okay for a short period of time. I think because of the novelty of being somewhere new.
The novelty, yeah, we have
this
that
is the
as
thing.
well, yeah.
And, sitting in the shiny red car, with a fake steering wheel in the hairdressers, being able to have any DVD you want.
Yeah.
I guess this is 10, 12 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess because of that reason, and because, of as he reminded me recently, not realizing that he has free will at that age. So I think, again, you can get away with a lot with novelty, but the older he got and the more he became aware of his own power.
Yeah.
With that great power.
The power of veto is very strong, isn't it?
It is very, very strong, yeah. So I think, but I shied away from it again as well, because I was probably one of these annoying mums that was a bit like, well, so just because he's a boy, he can have long hair. It's fine.
Yeah,
and we went to a Steiner school and all of that. So he was in very good company with very long hair. So, it wasn't sort of like a short back and sides.
But I presume that you were giving him the option to get his hair cut.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's,
And I was doing it myself at home. So I got him used to doing little trims, and I was the bowl haircut mum, all of that. And we kind of just really stopped going to the hairdressers, I think, after about age 4, age 5, maybe. Mm-hmm. And we tried going to a Barbers when he was about 7. We got as far as, it was actually one of my husband's cousins. It was a family barber. Got as far as going in, sitting down on the chair. Jem looked up and saw, the barbers' tools they have for shaving. Mm-hmm. So Turkish barbers. Yeah. He saw the shaving tools, like a display of them.
Jesus.
Probably. Yeah. And he got up and he bolted.
Yeah, that's genuinely terrifying.
Absolutely bolted. And I think he thought it was going to be sort of Sweeney Todd type situation.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I can totally see how that's pretty alarming.
But I sort of he didn't bolt out the front of the shop, but he bolted it to the back where the door was closed. I mean, that was, yeah. And after that, at that point, he said, I never wanted to come in here anyway. They've got weapons on them. So we never, that was a bit of a non-starter. Yeah. So I just continued cutting his hair until I couldn't. That stopped as well, because funny what you were saying about India and her scalp sensitivities. Jem's actually said to me before that it hurts when I cut his hair.
Okay, that's interesting.
Now, isn't it?
Yes.
So, yeah.
I think India might have something like that, and I've got one of my what the flip mentions is going to be about, which might help shed some light onto that. So then he's just like, I'm not getting my hair cut at all.
Oh, then it just completely stopped. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then the hair just got longer and longer, and then he used to get mistaken for a girl quite a lot.
Right.
Less so now, but when he was younger, and he just embraced it. But he would sort of flick his hair and sort of say, "Actually, I'm a boy."
Nice.
And then
that sounds like a L'Oreal advert.
Yeah, and as he got a bit older, he'd say, "I'm a boy," and also not trans, because he was really proud that he'd kind of like learn about
adult concepts.
Who I did. Yeah. He'd be like, and I'm not trans. And actually, just a boy, and he kind of loved it. And it brought out it's that whole thing again, Mark, of how they don't care and we care so much. And in a way, it's amazing to see them just walking around,
Yeah.
And just not caring.
Jay's hair was very long, so he used to have quite short hair, and this, I think, sort of coincided with his descent into burnout. His hair got longer and longer, and he absolutely didn't want to cut it. And it was, and again, it was just like, okay, well, that's how you want it to be, and you have a choice over that, so fine. So he grew his hair longer and longer, and it was sort of well below his shoulders. And I wonder if a lot of the desire for long hair was the ability to hide, to sort of cover your face a lot more, and it's almost to kind of shelter yourself from the outside world a little bit. When he went into school, he could just sort of be under this mop of hair.
It's a cape, isn't it? It's almost like a superhero's cape of power. Definitely. And that's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I actually said I had a conversation with him once about this and whether it made him feel better being a bit more hidden from the world, and he sort of agreed. I don't know if it was a conscious thing, but he said, yeah, I think so. So he had long hair for a long time, and we didn't really get it cut, and he was still pretty good at keeping it clean, so that didn't really become an issue. After about 4 or 5 years of having long hair, though, I was swimming with Jay once. He just sort of swam up to me and he went, I think I want to get my hair cut short now. And I was like, I tried to keep calm.
Yes, never show that you're excited or you think it's a good idea. Nonchalant.
And it's not because I just thought he looks better with short hair, but because for me, it felt like a sign that he was coming out of his burnout, that he wanted to sort of emerge out into the outside world a little bit more, out of his little burrow of burnout and poke his little face out. And it definitely felt like that. So when he got it cut, it felt like, the windows had been opened and this fresh air had come in, because he just lightened up a little bit. And it was a really, I just remember it being a really significant moment for me. Probably not for him. He probably just, didn't really give a shit. But
that's really lovely, though. That's really lovely. We had a similar thing after lockdown. Well, no, it was during lockdown when Jem was in a burnout situation. He had come to the point where it was down his back and it was really bothering him.
Mm-hmm.
It was itchy and uncomfortable, but he wasn't saying it. I could just tell he was. So I tried declarative language.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder where my scissors are. I feel like I haven't been to the hairdresser. I could give myself a haircut. All that crap that you do, where you're basically saying, "Do you want a haircut?" But without saying, "Do you want a haircut?"
Yeah.
And at that time, I used to leave little notes in his bedroom on his desk sometimes with suggestions of things that we might do. But it was before he had a phone, so it was essentially like a text saying, "Hey, we can do this." And the hair thing was building up, and I left him a little note, and I was really desperate to help him. Mm-hmm. It wasn't because I cared what he looked like. I just really wanted to help him. And I said, I'd love to help you with the hair thing. How about we get Daddy's clippers? Because we'd been watching a film where somebody shaved their hair. Okay, a G.I. Jane type situation. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'd quite like to shave my head. This is how desperate I was.
Oh, wow.
And I said, do you want to help me clip my hair off? And then we could do yours too. Now, what was I thinking? I could easily have got to a position where I clipped my own hair off. I was G.I. Jane, and he just sat there.
He went, no.
No. But the idea was I kind of created something that we'd do together.
Yeah.
And I'd sort of said, well, we could do that. It might be quite fun. And I remember he got the note and he came downstairs and he just chucked the note at me and he went, cut my hair, do it now. Don't talk about it. Just quickly do it. And
oh my God.
I just sort of, I was
action
trembling. All the scissors and stuff I bought off Amazon, get everything out. And he just sat down and dry. I just started sort of going and created this absolute, it looked like a sort of pet grooming salon when they've done a really matted dog or something, Malamute or something, and just cropped his hair really short. And he got up and he went, because I'd forgotten to cover him up. I was so shocked.
You got time for that shit. You got to get going.
Yeah, this is the thing. And he stood up and he went, there's hair on me. And he just kind of it was like a tornado or a volcano as he looked at himself and realised he was covered
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
tiny
yeah.
little bits of hair. And he's ripped all his clothes off and sort of ran towards the shower and went, "Get it off!"
A haircut and a shower in one day.
Oh, God.
What a time to be alive.
But it was magic. It was a magical
But yeah,
moment.
yeah.
It obviously must have felt some form of relief at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah.
But then he must have kept forgetting about it because he'd look in a mirror and go, "Ah!"
Oh, no.
He told me to cover up the mirrors. And I had to go round. And I was into having mirrors because of, the light and the space.
Yeah, yeah.
And, cover up all the bloody mirrors with tea towels and hand towels and pillowcases. It looked like someone had died, when they cover the mirrors in like Victorian houses or something.
Living like Miss Havisham. Did you have to shave your head in the end, or
No,
did he let you get
no,
away with
I
that?
think,
Okay.
I think even at the tender age of 8 or whatever he was, or 9, he could tell that was a sensible situation.
But dude, that is a big move. Like from your perspective,
God.
that is a gutsy move.
But I mean, during lockdown, I was hiding in the cupboard under the stairs at regular intervals and crying and screaming, and then kind of getting.
So that would have just completed the look then.
Yeah, I mean, by that point, I think it was one of those times, a bit of an out of body experience, really. And I don't think I was responsible for what I was saying or doing. Well, that's my story anyway.
It was interesting that you were saying that Jem, when the hair was on him, like freaked out, because I think that's definitely a thing with haircuts.
Yes.
I think it's a thing with Otto. I think it was a little bit with Jay, and I'm almost certain that it's a thing with India, of having those tiny little hairs and like being able to feel them in a way that like I probably can't or don't really care about. It becomes really irritating and really kind of sensory.
Yeah, but actually, I can't stand it. When I go to the hairdressers, if my hairdresser gets like tiny little bits of hair on my neck, I actually can't stand it. And I'm desperate to get home to wash it off. And
have a shower, yeah.
I don't know whether or not, he gets it from me, as they say. But no, it's definitely a fear of having the tiny cut bits of hair.
Yeah, there's a definite sensory thing as well. I think
definitely.
Getting a haircut. Like I might be reading something into this, but the snip of scissors near the ear, like close to the ear, I think is probably quite quite dysregulating. And the clippers as well, the sound of the clippers near the ear.
I remember once at a hairdresser's in one of the little stupid car things, I remember a hairdresser got clippers out and went towards him with them.
Did you run him over?
He very much made his displeasure known at that. So yeah, you're right. It's that noise. It's like a hairdryer. It's sudden. It's coming, and it could hurt you, couldn't it? So
yeah, so there's a lot to be kind of worried, and the unknown as well.
Yes,
because we've all had haircuts where it's not turned out as we intended.
Yeah.
So I guess there's part of that at play as well. I think there's probably an awful lot of different things at play, apart from strip lighting and people and the normal being out in the outside world. I think there is a uniquely dysregulating experience being 100%. In a hairdresser's.
100%. I mean, I've even said things like, because you can get these mobile hairdressers, can't you? There's always ones advertising on Facebook that say, "I'm really good with neurodivergent kids. I'll come to your home."
Yeah.
And I've even sort of suggested, we could do that. And he's just looked at me like I've suggested we take the dog out and shoot it. A stranger coming to the house to cut hair. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah, several degrees of unpleasant. Another thing that Otto has, which I'd never thought about, and it's only really recently started to creep in. He's been fine getting his hair cut before, only really over the last probably 6 months. No, probably a bit longer, because he's grown his hair longer, and I think now the reason that he's grown his hair longer is because he hasn't want to get his hair cut. And I didn't realise until recently, when he was able to articulate it, that he has anxiety around people noticing him having had a haircut.
Oh.
Right? Because he hates standing out at school. It's like the biggest trigger for him. He doesn't want to go in late in case people look at him. He doesn't want to wear the new trousers that we brought him because people will notice. And what's the first thing that happens when you get a haircut? People go, "Oh, you got a new haircut.
Yes,
that's nice."
of course.
Everyone comments on it because socially that seems to be an acceptable thing to do instead of just letting people get on with their day. So he's been really anxious around doing that, and he's been reluctant to get his haircut for ages, and it's really long, to the point that he can eat it He can eat the fringe, right?
Yeah.
So he does a lot of that business, and it's become a bit of a mop. And Tam actually did an amazing job in managing to get him to a hairdresser recently. If we didn't call it a haircut, right?
Oh, okay.
Because the word haircut in his head meant it was going to go short and then noticeable, right?
Right.
Tam worked out that if you use the word trim, we're going to get a trim, then it's less drastic in his mind, and then he was fine with it.
So you're not changing like the style. You're not having a proper cut. You're just having a neaten up. Oh, yeah,
exactly.
That's great.
So as soon as that happened, and he was like, "Okay, well, we'll do it." And then he got a bit anxious about not wanting to talk to the hairdresser because chatting to hairdressers like to chat.
I mean, for
right?
all of us, it's pretty hard going, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
I just ask open questions. So if I go in and I'll say, "Oh, how are the girls getting on? How's it?" And then she will go.
Oh, okay, nice.
I've got
Set
good
her off.
5-10 minutes.
Sticking the radio on.
That's yes.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I see that. So Otto definitely didn't want any chat in the chair. So Tam explained that to the hairdresser. Fortunately, the hairdresser that we go to is amazing. You know, our local barber, we've been to for years, and he's got an autistic brother, and he spends a lot of time with his brother, and he's very close to his brother, so he just gets it. So anytime I talk to him about the kids, and you know, he always asks about them, and he always has a really good way with him because he gets it. So when Tam sort of said, "Don't talk to Otto, he doesn't really want you to talk to him," then he was totally fine with it. And then once that happened, Otto was like, "Okay, I now want to chat relentlessly." So then he just would start this barrage of conversation because it was on his terms, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was a real success with Otto. Jay, as we discussed earlier, seems to be pretty fine with it. India is a whole different ballgame. She hates going to the hairdressers, probably for some of the reasons that we talked about earlier, kind of around sensory stuff. So if we manage to get her in to the hairdresser, it's the smallest amount off. And the other thing is that she's got a fringe. So she refuses to get that cut. So it gets really long. It like goes over below her mouth. So we're not talking like a Claudia Winkleman like fringe. We're talking Cousin It kind of fringe, right? And it becomes a bit of a nightmare. And at one point I had to insist because it was affecting her eating. Like she couldn't eat.
Neglect. It's neglect.
Without hair getting in there. I noticed it. She'd be getting like egg and yogurt and fucking all kinds of stuff in it. And it was just a nightmare. So I sort of insisted that we do something about it. And she'd had a bad experience with a hairdresser previously, I think, where the hairdresser said, just a little bit off, and it was more than India wanted. So I think there's very often a trigger for this kind of thing of like a bad experience that is then like, that is never going to happen again, because they reach that level of dysregulation or overwhelm. They're like, why would I want to go there again?
Absolutely.
I'd much rather just never have my hair cut. That thing is not just a blip. It's not just a minor inconvenience. It is an incredibly dysregulating and awful event. So I think India noped out of all hairdressers for quite a long time until it just became too much. And when it was in her mouth, I was like, can I maybe just trim the fringe? And India, for whatever reason, trusted me over the hairdressers.
Wow.
Was like, yeah, okay, I'll let you do it. And I was like, all right. I mean, I have no experience of this kind of thing at all.
None of us do, Mark. None of us do.
Exactly. So I stored it up, and you know, she wasn't ready for quite a long time. And then one afternoon, it was a summer afternoon, and India was feeling pretty relaxed, and the hair was, you know, starting to annoy her. So I said, shall I just, you know, have a go at your fringe? And she was like, all right. I was like, you know, like you did, like, okay, action stations. Fuck. Okay, let's go. So I took her outside. I didn't do it inside.
Clever.
I took her outside. Clever. I put her on the back step. There was a bit of a breeze, so I thought that might help a little bit. And I prepped it, and I made a bit of a joke of it, you know, like gamify it, make it like I'm a real hairdresser, squirt her hair down, brush it, talk about a holiday, it's all good. And then I just went for it. I felt so confident.
Empowering. It's
empowering.
Just amazing.
Until I made the first cut, I immediately knew I fucked up.
Yeah.
I think this is the worst parenting experience of all of my parenting experiences because it's so multifaceted, my levels of shame around this.
You just take
event.
too much off and then have to compensate.
So I made the first cut, and I mean, I was supposed to do it just above her eyes, and I fucked it. I don't know why, or I just was like, well, while I'm here, I think in a split second in my head, I was like, while I'm here, I'm not going to get this chance again. I might as well take quite a lot off, right? Christ. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Christ. And I hadn't planned that. It was just in the moment. I was like, great, she's amenable. Let's do this. And I went way, way, way too short for the first cut. And it was also wonky. And I think India...
You mean you didn't look on YouTube for a video first?
I might have done.
But
I'll be honest.
Carried away.
I'll be honest. I've suppressed this memory so deep that a lot of the detail escapes me. But there was a moment where I knew and she knew that I'd fucked it, and she didn't. She couldn't see herself, but I think she saw the expression on my face, and immediately started panicking. And I started panicking because now she's moving around, and I know that I need to finish it off. So I then just start like holding her still and going, "Oh, it's okay, I've got it." And obviously, like you say, right, they smell fear, they smell the panic in my voice.
You are fucked by that point. Yeah,
I was fucked within the first snip, and anything else was just feeble mitigation. So I basically managed to get through the whole fringe, and it was really wonky, and she was in an absolute state. Because I couldn't just leave it half finished. I had to finish it, right? No matter what it ended up as. And then she ran inside, and I just stood on the back step, and I was just like, this is like the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
You know, this is like, I have taken the pin out of the grenade.
Yeah.
And
it's basically, there's a countdown.
Yeah.
You know the shit's coming. It's just.
And she ran to the mirror, and she looked herself in the mirror, and then she absolutely lost it. I have instant meltdown, the like of which I've not seen before. And she was just screaming, "I hate it! I hate it! I want it back! This is the worst day of my life!" And I'm just like,
I want it back as well.
Fucking mortified, because she trusted me in her life until that moment, and I can't do anything. Do you know what I mean with that? There's nothing I can do to put it back, and I just want to try and make it better. And if there's something else, I would try and give her a hug and try and make that better. But the last thing she wants to do is to hug the dude that did this to her. Right? So she runs upstairs. She runs to a different room. She is screaming like a wounded animal in her room for 20 minutes, and I'm outside just panicking. Like, I text Tam and go, "I've fucked up. I've really fucked up. I'm really sorry. It's really bad." And Tam is just like, "I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's not too bad. I'll come over and we'll sort it out." So eventually India manages to calm down and tries to make it better by sweeping it all to one side, but that makes it so much worse. And it's like, there's no dressing it up. It's absolutely dreadful. And eventually Tam comes over and walks in. Tam reacted in a way that was so multi-layered. It's difficult to decipher. So they tried to remain calm when they walked in. Because you don't you don't want to make a big deal of it, right? You just want to brush it off. Tam walked in and took one look, and the look on their face was indescribable. But I'll try to describe it, because it was multiple emotions in one facial expression, right? So firstly, bewilderment, as in I wasn't expecting this. Then there was disappointment. The look at me was disappointment.
Disappointment, that's the word.
Yeah. That very quickly turned to anger. And then it was just utter confusion as to how it could have gone so badly wrong. It's like the final expression that went from bewilderment to disappointment to anger to just I don't understand
what was the chain of events here.
And I had nothing. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, this is it. But the worst thing about a haircut like that is that it's not just bad for a moment.
Oh,
it's bad for months. Months and months.
God.
Every single day for at least a month. I'm not exaggerating. Every single day I saw India in the morning and I felt mortified. I felt ashamed and guilty and horrified by what I'd done.
I'm getting secondhand mortification,
I mean,
to be
it's
honest
just
with
getting
you.
this off my chest. Like, she bounced back quite quickly after like the first few days, but I also had to walk her to school, right? So all the other parents are seeing India, and they know exactly who's responsible for this.
Couldn't you've just said kids with the scissors, you know? What are you gonna do?
Maybe, but they could see that I was significantly more shamefaced than I had been for any of the years previously. And the thing is, like I think as very much with Jay and having the long hair and having that as his sort of shield from the world when he was in burnout, I think that fringe had that role for India. Like, I think that it was something to hide behind, because she masks. I know she masks in school. So I think it was something to hide behind. And when you remove that completely, she's got nothing. It's not just a haircut. It's not just how she looks. It's how she feels and how she can relate to the world. She feels much more vulnerable, I guess.
And there's also that, I think, the sort of the sensory aspect in terms of lots of kids stim with their hair, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, and like, you know, if it is down there,
She would eat it.
and they
yeah.
are, and they're
God.
nibbling it, and they're
That
twirling it around.
That makes me feel worse.
Yeah,
I've removed a
it's,
fidget toy from her as well.
For shame.
I mean, this is a couple of years ago now, but oh God, the shame still, genuinely, that is the most I've ever let India down, I think, and I still regret it to this day.
It's okay. It's a safe space.
Yeah,
We're all
thank
here
you.
with you.
Just to get it off my
listening.
chest. So, I mean, what can we learn from this lesson? Like, don't get confident with the scissors.
I think we can learn that we should basically leave our kids alone, really. I think we should leave them to their own devices. Just let them make all their own choices about things like that, and stay the fuck out of it, because nothing we do will be right.
Yeah,
You know? So, okay, on a sensible note, I think we at some point will learn to trust them, and that they will get there in their own time, and they'll be able to manage.
Like with Jem,
Yeah.
when it became too much for him,
Yeah.
right, when it was itchy and uncomfortable, and with Jay as well. Like, I never
Yeah.
insisted that Jay cut his hair, so he wasn't really an
Yeah.
issue. But when he decided, it was like, it's go time, right? And then he's fine with it. I don't know if India will ever get to that point because of a massive aversion to haircuts, but maybe that is the...
I think we fuck things so much for ourselves by it, because we've got these brilliant intentions. Our
Yeah.
intentions are, you know, we want to be those parents that we thought we'd be before we had kids, you know, with complex disabilities. You know, we want to be those sort of nurturing, protecting, just a brilliant parents. But we bring all that, you know, and we sort of, it's coming out of our pores that we just want to help.
Yeah.
To the point where we're pushing them away, basically. And it's, I think, with PDAs, we have to start trusting them at some point to make these decisions. And it's really, really hard, because with my son, he's got high needs in some ways, and, you know, quite high care needs in some ways. But yet suddenly he's getting a bus down to the high street by himself the other day. It's a really complicated kind of time for a parent.
Yeah.
You know, we're used to having to micromanage possibly quite a lot of things. He still doesn't do shoelaces, but he got a bus to, you know,
it's crazy, isn't
to a high street. So it is really, really hard to kind of work out where those sort of boundaries are and stuff. But they will always smell our desperation. That's guaranteed.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Absolutely. I mean, there is a positive experience that I've had with India recently, because I don't want to end on that, you know, that absolute disaster that I had. But the other day, because again, we thought she needed her haircut, and the other day she told me very confidently, money can buy you anything. And I was like, that's not true. It can't buy you love or happiness. But she was having none of it. It's just like, no, you can definitely buy love or happiness, right? I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, money can't buy you a haircut. And she thought for a moment. And she was stuck by, like, in that PDA nightmare of having to admit they were wrong or do something that they really didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And so she was like, yes, it could. If you buy me a Jellycat toy. I was like,
Oh,
fucking
God.
hell. She loves Jellycat toys. Jellycat toys
Yeah.
are expensive, but
They are.
dude, I've not had a haircut for like a year. So think about what I've saved on that.
Yeah. She
So,
can have a collection.
at this
She can have a
point,
limited edition.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay, all right. Like, while we were there in that moment, I went online and we found the Jellycat toy that she wanted. I was like, right, if you get your haircut, I will buy you this. And then you will be right. Money will be able to buy anything.
Bribery is the most legitimate way.
Yeah,
we
it
parent.
worked. It totally worked.
Absolutely. You're happy. She's happy.
I mean, I played a
Yes.
blinder there. I played an absolute
You
blinder.
really did.
So, you know, she won't go to their hairdressers because there's so many other sensory things that we can't control. However, we did read somewhere on a local autism support Facebook group that someone's daughter is doing hairdressing. She's neurodivergent and she's looking to get some practice and she'll come to us. I was like, this sounds
Amazing.
ideal, because they don't really care about how good it is. Just, you know, just, can she see now? Great. Yes.
Did
we're in
she
business.
freak out during the process? No. That's a win.
Yeah, that's
you know?
so. And I'd not thought about getting someone in. I'm sure Tam had, but we'd not really got round to it. So Tam contacted her and said, come over. She came over and I was, you know, in the house when it happened. It was absolutely fine. She was in the house. I just put the iPad on. She was neurodivergent, so maybe deep down she kind of knew, you know, how to phrase things, or I don't know. There's a maybe they both realised it in some cosmic way. So India was absolutely fine with it. So that was like a huge win, a huge success on the back of what was previously the most catastrophic fail I've ever done.
That's incredible. Get that girl round
Totally.
more often.
Yeah,
Get her
exactly.
around.
It's not all rubbish.
Okay, we'll look at the positives now, because, you know, I think we can pull some positives out of this. I think, you know, we've pulled some positives in both realising that we just need to leave them to it, right? Lower your expectations.
A bit lower.
Lower than that, right? Think about how low they could be, then drop them a tiny bit more.
That's it. You've done it.
You're going to have to put up with them looking feral, essentially.
Yeah. And actually, do you know what? So what? There are worse things. And I think, in a way, kids, especially like, you know, India and Otto and Jem, flipping it, they could teach us a little bit about stopping caring so much
About our
what
appearance.
others
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
You know? So I know that's really hard and it makes me kind of twitch, but it's true. Who gives a shit, really, at the end of the day?
Yeah, maybe that is kind of shining a light a little bit on how we do things for other people and not for ourselves.
Yep. Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
they are not swayed by what people are looking like and how people are reacting to their appearance. So
the court of public opinion
Exactly.
holds no sway for them.
Yeah,
at all.
that's a
No.
perfect way of putting it. So maybe we can learn a little bit from that.
Neurodiversity Champions.
Okay, it's Neurodiversity Champions time now. These are people or organisations who are doing wonderful things in the realm of neurodiversity. Do you have any Neurodiversity Champions for us, Rebecca?
I do have one, actually.
Lovely.
And I don't mean to take things, you know, down a little bit, but it's slightly more serious. So I have a really good friend who has been on your podcast.
Okay.
Danielle
Yata Hall.
Hall.
Awesome.
Yeah. PDA parenting.
Yeah, she's
just doing such good work.
Mhm.
Yeah. And she's sort of had one of those moments recently, I think, where she's had an influx of like followers and she's done tons of stuff on her website. I'm not paid to say this, she's just a friend. But I did want to say, actually, I've been kind of noticing she's got to the point where she's been trolled recently quite heavily.
For fuck's sake, as if anyone
I
needs
know,
that.
and it's really making me cross because
Yeah.
I think next to the PDA Society, she's the other resource that I would regularly point people towards.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
She's super neuroaffirming and doesn't try to ask for money for giving you a guide, you know, things like that. She's brilliant. But yeah, she's really been trolled by people saying really unkind things. So I thought I would shout her out because she's a gem. And if anyone listening wants to go and follow her at pdaparenting.com and kind of help squash those absolute cockwomble trolls. That would be really nice.
Because there's some like great resources, but also just show a bit of love and solidarity.
Yeah. 3 PDAers. I mean, come on. I've only got one.
I got
So,
two,
you know,
two
I know.
I don't know about Otto. Jury's out.
2.5. So yeah, she's my champion this week.
Yeah, awesome. I wholeheartedly endorse that. I want to give a shout out to our local hairdresser. So Stefan at Hairport in Brighton.
Hairport is
Hairport.
the best name.
Stefan at Brighton Hairport. And he is amazing. And I've gone to him with the kids for ages, and he's really neuroaffirming because he's got an autistic brother, and he's really patient and he's open. And also this amazing thing, which isn't for neurodivergence, but is incredibly useful for neurodivergence, is he has a Q cam, right? So you can log in online and look at whether there's anyone in there before you go. Right?
That's genius.
It's fucking brilliant because I'm there going like, well, I need to take Otto, but I don't. Yeah. What I don't want to do is have to sit with Otto while he needs to wait for 3 other people to get their haircut.
Yeah, and whilst he then thinks about the haircut and gets totally overstimulated.
No one needs that shit. So I can watch the Q cam, and as soon as like it's available, that's it. We're in. Hop in the car and we're off. Like zoom around there, and it's wonderful. So that is awesome. And the other benefit of doing that is that once Jay decided he wanted to go on his own to get his hair cut.
Wow.
So he went on his own.
That's wonderful.
Dropped him off. He went in, and then I zoomed home. I got the Q cam up and I watched him in the wild.
Oh, I
on
love
his
it.
Phone. It was so
story.
amazing, and I watched him just be really, because I love it when he's talking to strangers. Not that Stefan's a stranger, but when he's sort of talking to other people, he's so polite and he's so sort of formal. And I could kind of watch him on the Q cam waiting really patiently and then having his haircut. It was just it was a really lovely moment. So massive shout out to Stefan at Brighton Airport, because it's wicked. They've done some great things for us.
Tiny epic wins.
Okay, tiny epic wins now. These are the moments that in a neurotypical, neuro-vanilla family might seem not a great deal, but in our families, they are epic wins. Do you have any tiny epic wins for us, Rebecca?
Well, we went to London last week, Jem and I, for 2 nights to it's going to sound so odd. It's just my son's special interest is he loves arcade gaming and arcade machines.
Yeah.
It's quite niche. He quite likes retro ones, but he also likes modern ones. There's an exhibition every year in London where all these people who manufacture and distribute arcade machines, they get together in Excel, massive, huge. I mean, we're country bumpkins down here. We don't get out to the big city very much. So when we go down to London, it's like, oh my God, you know. But so we went. I booked 2 nights in a Premier Inn. Always stick to a brand that you know, because it will look the same as last time you went, and that doesn't freak anybody out. And we went to this exhibition called EAG. And do you know, Mark, not a meltdown was had. Not a single moment.
For the whole 2 days?
I can honestly tell you.
That's amazing.
He didn't actually sleep much, but he didn't get upset about it. We were walking around the Docklands Hotel car park at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Just taking the air, having a stroll, to try and possibly, kind of get the fuck to sleep. But we were looking at the rats gambling, and the foxes and the bins. But yeah, apart from the nighttime walks and the sort of lack of sleep, which I'm used to and it doesn't bother me, as I'm sure you are too, it was remarkable. And
that's amazing, because that's a big old journey as well, though, from Dorset.
So it's
that's like a lot of travel.
Yes, and it rained constantly the whole way. Rain is his favourite weather. So he was like a dog, like a Labrador, with his head out the window in the car, kind of on the motorway, which I know you probably shouldn't do, but never mind. But yeah, no, we took practically the whole bedroom with us. Duvet, 3 or 4 plushies, special pillow, actually brought a king-size duvet, the fan. We brought everything. But he just managed it all so well and took it all in his stride. And yeah, it was absolutely brilliant.
Amazing.
So that's, for me, that is probably a really big epic win. It's not so
Yeah,
fun,
it's
but
huge.
I loved
That's
it.
huge.
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love those
Grand.
moments where you will always look back fondly on those moments, and it's like,
Yes.
we'll always have
Yeah.
that.
We'll always have EAGXL January.
Exactly. Lovely stuff. I've got a tiny epic win. The other day when we were on the way to swimming, I usually hand over control of Spotify to Otto.
I thought you were going to say the car then, and I was about to freak the fuck out.
Yeah, and apparently
Usually,
he's a
hand
really
over
good
control.
driver. It's an epic win. I had to sleep in the back. He got us there in no time. No. I handed control of Spotify to Otto. I really should call it Ottify, shouldn't I?
Yes, you should.
Because he loves music and he likes, playing songs. And Jay was in the passenger seat and he went, "Can I DJ, Daddy?" And I was like, oh, fuck. I mean, firstly, he's not really interested in music, but I didn't want to say no because I also don't, I want anyone to be able to have a go. So I went, yeah, of course you can. I was absolutely dreading what he was going to put on because usually it's some obscure soundtrack from a video game no one's ever heard of.
Yes.
Not even the main title of it, an obscure
Yeah.
cutscene of some video game or something equally awful. But it was like, it's a short journey. I'll let you do it. And he put on banger after banger, and I had no idea where he got them from. He started with the Beatles. He went Nirvana, Elvis Presley. He bust out Gangnam Style at one point, which was a surprising hit in our car. Everyone lost their shit for Gangnam Style. He even put on some Ed Sheeran because he knows that India loves Ed Sheeran. So he thought about India as well.
Wow.
I know he was fine with the song, but he did it because India wanted it. It's it was just really surprising. It opened up this whole new world of we can now start selecting songs between us and not having to sit through a 4-hour instrumental from a death scene in an anime movie.
We get that sort of really odd kind of the soundtracks to video games, and we kind of get all that. But no, that's really lovely.
It's one of the best car journeys I've ever had. It was really nice.
And it had a soundtrack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What the flip?
Okay, what the flip moments now. These are the moments where our neurodivergent kids will say or do something completely baffling and perplexing. Do you have any what the flip moments? I'm sure you do.
I was thinking actually about what to say, and I have one. And it's not so much baffling as almost like, what have I created? This is my moment. So yeah, Jem's been working really hard on kind of anxiety and emotions and that kind of stuff. I say working really hard. I hope he has either that or he's just growing up. I don't know. But I was having a little bit of a meltdown the other day. And I think I do say that because I was really starting to lose my shit over something, and I can't actually remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd got grumpy and banged my head.
Oh yeah.
In the loft. Have you ever banged your head in the loft? It's not nice. And I was extremely grumpy with the two men that I live with in this house. And I remember sort of saying to Gemma, my face is getting tense and my fingers are tense, and I think I was starting to cry. And he just looked at me and he said, "Mummy, you're getting stressed now. You're getting stressed over nothing. You need to take some calm, deep breaths." And I was looking at him and thinking, you little fucker, what you're doing is you're saying to me what I've said to you in the past. You're throwing it back in my face. And he said, "Would you like a hug?" And he said it with this, I've got to be honest, quite patronising tone.
I was thinking, oh, that sounds lovely, but no, he was weaponising your affection.
Shall I get you a big drink of cold water? Because that's another thing I say. Have a drink of cold water. I don't know why I say it, because it does fuck all in this, to help a situation. And when I was sort of like, no, it was very much a reversal of parent and child. And he said, "I'm going to go now out of the room because in a minute, I think I'm going to say something I'll regret." And just sort of I don't know whether it was a sort of a mansplaining kind
Was
of
he just
like,
parodying you in that situation?
yeah, but completely seriously. And he walked out of the room and calmly closed the door. He didn't lose his shit once. And I was being irrational. You know, I really was. I was very angry about things. And yeah, and I sort of sat there in this sort of echo chamber, feeling like a twat.
It's just like, what just happened?
I know,
mean,
yeah.
he handled it exactly as I'd want him to handle it, but I feel like I've been cheapened.
And what I learned was that I don't like the way I handle things.
Okay.
If that's what's coming back at me, then I'm way too patronising. So yeah.
Oh man, you've got to change your strategy now.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, fuck, where do you go from there?
You have a drink, I think that's what you do.
I've got a couple of what the flip moments. I've actually got 3 what the flip moments, and they're all from India, and they are all related to hair. So it's just like, actually, because when they happen to me, I write them down. Then I kind of scroll through them and work out. And sometimes I'll find one that relates specifically to the topic. And apparently there's a lot of ones from India on this very subject, right? So one of them was when I was brushing India's hair and she felt that I was doing it too hard. And she went, "Daddy, you're making my hair bones bleed."
What?
My hair bones bleed. It's like, and that was sort of going back to what you said earlier of like, I think it is like it has a feel to them that it's almost the hair has sentience. I don't know. Yeah, it was an interesting way of putting it. The other one was when we were trying to get out of the house and I said, India, I'll brush your hair when you get dressed. Just as a reminder to myself, really, rather than an instruction. And she just went, "Yay, I'm going to stay in my pajamas all day so you don't have to brush it." I was like, fuck, you got me. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know, when you say something, you realise, I just should not have said it.
Rookie error.
Rookie mistake, even now. Even a veteran of so many battles. Schoolboy error. And the final one that I had very recently is when I said to India, I was like, "I'd like to take you to the hairdresser." And she went, "That's never going to happen in the history of nevers." And then ran off.
That's a good one.
That's never going to happen in the history of nevers.
Love that one.
And then ran
I might
off
use that
giddily.
one.
It's lovely, isn't it? I'd never heard of that before. I genuinely started to question whether that's just a thing, like a saying, but I don't think it is.
No, I've never heard that. No.
In a history of nevers. Okay, that is it for this episode of Neuroshambles. Rebecca, thank you so much for coming back on and talking to me about the joys and perils of hair care.
It's been a ride. I'm slightly traumatised. I'll have lots to talk about to my therapist whenever I get to see her again. But it's been an absolute pleasure. Yet again, I think we have reassured people that they are not alone.
No. Yours is not the only shit show, guys.
No, God, no. There are many shit shows. Many.
So yeah, I'd also say a massive thank you to Neuroshambles listeners out there. Thank you so much for continuing to download and follow me on the socials and send in lovely emails. Please, if you ever fancy leaving a review, you ever feel like you want to do that, you can do that on any of the podcast platforms that you frequent, or you can leave a review on the website. You can even leave a voicemail on the website if you want to say nice things. It's always nice to hear. Yeah. You can also follow me on the socials on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. I think that's about it for now. We've exhausted this topic of the week, so I'll leave you to your own neuroshambolic households. All that remains for me to say is have a nice life.